So today we are going to elaborate on why the dynamic of many relationships have changed suddenly, what is really happening and what you should do. So have you wondered, two people who used to be deeply connected now seeing themselves drifting apart, where one day they couldn't go without talking to each other, now living under the same roof they feel like strangers, even though perhaps they share the same responsibilities, but somehow along the way they have stopped sharing their hearts. So have you wondered how two people who couldn't go a day without talking to each other now suddenly feels like strangers, living under the same roof, sharing same responsibilities most of the time? Somehow they have stopped along the way sharing their hearts. One partner wants more connection, the other wants more space, and no one is really trying to save the relationship, and they end up feeling misunderstood. Doesn't this sound familiar to you? Over time, one of the most common challenges I see in relationship is not lack of love, but a loss of emotional connection that happens over time. So, yes, where they once used to share a deep, loving connection, now they are finding themselves drifting apart. Where one partner is giving endlessly, taking on multiple roles and longing for emotional connection, while the other one becomes so distant, overwhelmed, or emotionally unavailable. Connections turning into misunderstanding, unmet needs becoming frustration, and requests for support are now met with defensiveness. Is this really insecurity, stress, emotional disconnection, unresolved wounds, changing priorities, or something deeper is going on? So in a world where this dynamic has become increasingly common, how do these couples lose that intimacy they once had? And more importantly, how can they find their way back to each other before the gap becomes too wide? So usually when people will analyze the situation, they would just jump into conclusion and say, maybe the husband is cheating, maybe the wife is cheating, or maybe the wife is being too needy, or maybe the marriage is over. But many times the reality is more complex than this one. So analyzing the wife side, she is a wife, the caretaker, the caregiver, the mother, the household manager, the emotional support system, who is taking care of the family as a whole. So definitely at some point she stops feeling like a cherished partner because she also has lots of responsibilities. So what she is saying is not that why you don't answer my call, for example, why you are not here for me. What she really means to her husband is, do I still matter to you? Do you still care for me? Or maybe indirectly she's saying, I miss feeling connected to you. So, the unanswered text now becomes symbolic. The lack of affection becomes symbolic. And this is true. When someone feels emotionally disconnected, they start monitoring for signs of rejection, which creates anxiety, overthinking, repeated attempts to reconnect, seeking reassurance. So the more insecure they feel, the more they want to reach out. And unfortunately, this often pushes the other partner further away. Now the husband side. They have responsibility to nurture the family as well, for providing, and they have that financial burden, constantly being needed by everyone, emotionally exhausted. And when they come home, they feel like a totally different person. So for them, it's like, oh God, I have another problem to resolve right now. So I can't, and he withdraws. Not necessarily because he doesn't love her, maybe because he feels overwhelmed. So many men cope with stress through distance. Now the therapy part that is going on right now, the argument, where the husband argues with the wife, you should be the one to go to therapy, I am fine, you're not fine, you should be the one who needs healing, it's not me. So this becomes actually defensive when the husband says, you are the problem. What the one actually means, we are struggling. Where the husband hears differently. It's not me, it's you who are failing this relationship. So here he becomes protective of himself. And overall, this becomes blame, defensiveness, and counter-attacks, where nobody is truly listening to each other, and the distance starts to dance, where this becomes a cycle, a loop. The wife, the feminine, is pursuing connection, while the husband, the masculine, feels pressurized. He withdraws, while the mirror effect, the wife feels abandoned, even though she's trying harder. And if they don't take care right now, this cycle can continue for years. So that is why we don't usually advise couples who are having relationship issues or challenges to turn to family members or friends for advice. Yes, it is true that these people will care for you deeply and they want the best for you, but their guidance may be influenced by personal opinions, emotional attachments, past experiences, or loyalty to one side of the story only. And consequently, even well-intentioned advice can sometimes deepen misunderstandings rather than actually solving them. We agree that family and friends will provide you with emotional support because they love you, okay? But they are really neutral observers. They may hear only one side of the story or perspective, project their own relationship experiences onto the situation, but that's why you should seek for professional support, which can be more valuable for you. The life coach or a therapist role will be different for you. Rather than just taking sides, they are going to listen to both of you and help both partners understand the underlying patterns, emotional patterns, communication styles, unmet needs, and emotional wounds that may be contributing to the conflicts. So we request you for a therapy that will create a safe and neutral space for you, where you are heard, where your voice will be healed. So I welcome you if you are facing those issues. We are here to help you.